didn't see there. Hello everyone and welcome back to a special edition of Lauren's videos where I come to you from outside. And this week we are going to continue on with regularly scheduled programming despite everything going on. I thought let's do it outside because one, it's warm and I'm taking any bit of sun I can get, but two, it's kind of like we can't go outside, so I'm going to bring you a video from outside, so it's kind of like we're outside, if you know what I mean. And another reason why I'm doing it outside is because this week's video focuses on open floor plans in offices and whether they're sexist. So it's kind of like open floor plan, openness, outside, it's all a metaphor. But also what's a metaphor is that sometimes it rains outside, and that's what this week's video is about. Open floor plans are sexist apparently. Who knew? Not me until very recently. So I've decided to do a video on it. Let's go from there. There was a study done by two doctors. One was Dr. Alison Hurst from Anglia Ruskin University. The second one was Dr. Christina Swabenland from the University of Bedfordshire. Basically they did a study of 1100 people from a local UK government branch who were basically moved from normal types of offices into open floor plan. And they did a study over a couple of years, and I'll link it below as well. You can't actually read it because it's like a subscription based thing, but there's loads of articles and stuff, so I'll link those below too. And they basically asked women, men, how they found it, what happened, did you notice anything when you switched to the open floor plan? And they returned very interesting findings, which I personally am like, wow, that makes total sense. So I'm going to go through 6 reasons why open floor plans can be sexist and then go from there. 1. They changed the way women dressed. A lot of women who would have worn maybe very casual clothes no matter what role they were in, the ones in senior roles now felt the pressure to wear jackets and wear suits and kind of dress up so they wouldn't be mistaken for people in admin positions who maybe aren't treated as well. And then women who say were just on receptionist or something like that felt the need to like dress down so that they didn't feel like everyone thought that they were better than they were, that they were like higher than they were. So that was a really common finding. And what makes that sexist is that men didn't report this happening at all. Men didn't change how they looked because, as we all know, men aren't judged on their appearance as much as women. And so I think it's really interesting that women very much felt that pressure to dress up and change how they look. Number two, women reported they were constantly watched. Now, as any woman knows, this is so true for anywhere you are in the world, but becomes even more so with an open floor plan. So with private offices, you can obviously do your own thing, be private, but in open floor plans, you are constantly being watched. And they report that a lot of men would just stare at them, and you could see that they were kind of having these internal struggles between, like, you know, wanting to stare at the woman, satisfy that urge, but also knowing that it was rude. Oh, here comes the sun. And trying not to do it, but they just couldn't help themselves, and they reported that a lot. And they were also reported that because of the staring, that they actually restricted their movements. Open floor plans are meant to be like, oh yeah, freedom, go anywhere you want, like everywhere is your oyster. But women actually reported the opposite, that because they were constantly being stared at, they would actually just stick to their area, and then no one could say anything to them, no one could make a comment. And as anyone knows, like, being stared at on the street is one thing, but being stared at in your place of work where you're trying to be comfortable, you're trying to be professional, you're trying to do your job, and being stared at is just, oh, so uncomfortable. People who don't experience that will never know what it's like, and it's horrific. Number 3, women felt constantly scrutinized for their appearance. And again, none of these are that shocking because this happens anyway in society, but they're even more amplified in open space floor plans. One of the people who were asked in the research reported that when women would come for interviews in their offices, that men would see the women because it was open floor plan, and they would mark them based on their appearances. And this is obviously horrific when you're just trying to go for your job interview, trying to be professional, trying to, you know, you're already nervous enough, and then you know, their men are marking you on your appearance. So that's just not okay. And the women also report that they started putting on more makeup, and it's actually quite a widely reported thing that attractive people make more money than average people. Those are the words that I'm seeing, not my own obviously. And that women felt the pressure to wear more makeup than they usually would have because they were being constantly watched, but not too much makeup because that was deemed as unprofessional. So again, it's just this complete can't win situation. Number 4, it was reported there could be an increase in sexual harassment. So in open space floor plans, again, it was easier for men to see you, it was easier for men to follow you around. One woman reported that her boss was constantly following her around because you could see everywhere she was going. You kind of had nowhere to hide, and again, it's just the staring, which is definitely considered sexual harassment, and again, just make you so much more uncomfortable when you know that the person who is harassing you can see you all the time. It affects your professionalism, it affects your ability to do your job, and it's already horrific when women are already at such a disadvantage and people think that we can't do anything anyway, and then you're already distracted by all these things, and it's just horrific. Number 5, they make private conversations more difficult. So this comes into play in things like if you need to go to HR and you need to, say, report sexual harassment in the workplace. If the HR person doesn't have their own private office, are you meant to just have that conversation in front of everyone else? Like, how does that work? Is there any kind of private place for you to go if you're feeling emotional? Like, are you able to just go into a room and cry? You know, I've been in personal experiences myself in open floor plans where I've, say, wanted to cry and I've had to go to the bathroom. Like, no one wants to go to the bathroom when you don't actually have to go to the bathroom. Like, that's not the most pleasant place. So there's kind of just this lack of privacy, lack of being able to just have a moment to yourself. particularly as well if you're feeling stressed at your job, you know, it's kind of going to amplify that when you can't really just be alone and act out your feelings and just kind of have that time to yourself. One woman reported that she was going through menopause and she wanted to have a fan in her office, but she felt like she couldn't have a fan on her desk or anything because then people would know and they might treat her differently or think that she's less capable of doing her job. She felt embarrassed that she needed it, and so she had to just get on with her job without the fan, and it was just horrific. I keep using the word horrific, but these things are horrific to me. And so that is this week's video. I think a lot of these problems could be solved if women were involved in the decision-making process, if there were more women architects, more women engineers, if more women were just simply asked their opinion on things. I think these things could be a lot different. And it's basically come out now that like open floor plans are just kind of shit in general. Like people don't really like them. They were kind of a big thing like 10 years ago, but they're just not really a thing now anymore. And as well, apparently they're just so that you can cram more people into a smaller space and make more money without having to spend as much money, which of course makes complete sense. And of course it would come out that, you know, a money-making scheme wasn't good for actual people's mental health and safety and well-being. So who's shocked? So that is this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you like my page or subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this week's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!